Now, the other day, I happened to be, I share most of all these things that y'all guys are going to see now with the group, our main group. A lot of times as I'm preparing for shows, I was going along and just on YouTube pulling up a couple things, and this thing came up. And no, you can't see it, so I'm going to zoom it in if my screen will cooperate. And it said, come up and it said, Rapture September 23rd. Rapture September 23rd. And it's a song. I clicked on and was listening to it, and it's a song put out by some group on this channel, the U1 channel. And it says Rapture September 23rd, 2025. And it's a song, and it's called We Rise. So you can look it up and check it out. But I don't know. I mean, it just struck me with what it would take for someone to make a claim like this. But anyways, it says September 23rd, Feast of Trumpets rising, shofar calling me. And then next, another screenshot. It says, if I can get my screen to work. It says something about watchmen did the math, prophets drew the line, 7 years of trouble for the ones left behind. And another one with a couple more lyrics on it. There's 7 years of trouble for the ones left behind, but we ain't made for wrath. We're covered by the Lamb. And I was already doing research on subject matter related to the September 23rd thing that keeps coming back up year after year because of all the predictive programming for the main reason that's been put out there around this September thing. And so I don't know what to think about that other than it takes quite the opinion to put a song out saying that the rapture will be on September 23rd. And then in the song it goes, or on the 24th. And that's what this period is known as the Feast of Trumpets. That period, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, I believe it is. And I've got more information exactly on that here in a second. And I'm looking at a lot of different things around what's going on in the heavens around that time, what's going on with certain world leaders around that time. Like you'll see, I'll show you something in a few minutes that, for instance, Donald Trump is going to be in New York City on the 23rd. He's going to be at the United Nations building, supposedly on the 23rd. Normally, they don't really make big announcements about where the president is traveling. We could go to his schedule right now, and this ain't even on there. But it's been put out in the media that he will be at the UN building on the 23rd. I find that kind of interesting. And before we go down that part of the rabbit hole, we're going to look at a number of different things that are going on right now, how the heavens are positioned and so on. And I'm going to try to, when we look at something, I'm going to try to say, is there any way we can verify this? Do we know that this is real, or is this potentially just made up mumbo jumbo? Like, we don't even know at this point. I mean, we as a public don't even know if this Comet 3I Atlas is even real, or even if it exists, because we can't see it. They say it's this tiny, tiny dot way out there, but they'll show us pictures and say, that's it. Oh, and by the way, it's got friends flying with it now. Okay.
But there's one key word in all of that.
Uh-huh.
They told us. They showed us.
Exactly.
They.
And that's the difference. Is that
they also said they went to the moon.
Yeah, exactly. They also said that. Yep. in something that looked like a tinfoil hat. Yep. All right, so we're going to work our way through. I've got a lot of stuff here, so let's get moving. All right, let's look at the solar system in the way that they show it. This is a they thing again, okay? And this is where they say that Comet Atlas is currently at, okay? It's the official name is C/2025N1, but for whatever reason, they've dubbed it also as 3I Atlas, okay? Got two names for whatever reason. Third interstellar is what they're saying, but they call it on here C/2025N1. Anyways, they're saying this is how it's going to be passing through our solar system if you believe in this model. Personally, I do not. However, this is the information that's available. I seen a video the other day where some people were saying that Comet Atlas was going to pass in front of the sun in September on the 23rd, and it might block out the sun kind of thing. Because I did hear them say also, that it's half as big as the sun in the sky somehow. Now, how is it half as big as the sun, but yet we can't see it? But this is the kind of propaganda statements that they're making about this comet, right? So, okay, so as you can see, Earth, I've got Earth positioned down here on the bottom, kind of like you might say on the south side, right? And comet is supposed to come through here and pass behind the sun, and we can move it if we want to. We'll look at a couple of dates here in a second. But we can, it's going to pass behind the sun, as you can see, back yonder behind the sun. And on, for instance, September 23rd, let's see, what date are we at right now? We are on the 15th, which is what, today's date? Yeah, this is today's date. So this is what they're claiming, according to JPL.NASA. This is the current setup, right? And so let's see if we can move forward a little bit. Let's go, let's see, 16, 17, 18 is moving. Let me see. Can't see the date and it at the same time. No, it's not moving. Why are you not moving? Okay, now it's moving. That should be around the 23rd, something like that. You can see it's moved some, but no big deal. That's the 25th. So on the 23rd, which this is now the 23rd, as you can see in the lower left-hand corner. Well, you probably can't see it that good, but it's there. Unless you're on a big TV, because actually a lot of people, there's a good portion of y'all guys that watch this on like big televisions. So that's pretty cool. Y'all guys get to see really good. So on the 23rd, 9/23, the alignment is like this. Comet's still way off to the left of the sun and coming across. Now, it isn't until, let's see here. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Well, let's just move it until we can see it's kind of lining up. Somewhere's around in there. Let's see what that date is. Let's turn this again. Still got to go a little bit more.
I kind of wanted to interject something.
Yep.
Now, I am very much so against date setting when it comes to, Jesus's return, all of those things. But I did find it very interesting. As of recently, I had come across information about the Feast of Trumpets. And the Feast of Trumpets, which is on September 23rd till I believe October something, October 1st.
22nd to 24th.
Anyway.
Probably.
Right. Technically, this feast has always been known as the day and the hour, I can't think straight. I'm sorry. No one knows the day or the hour, because the Feast of Trumpets is the one festival or, feast of gods that, depending on the lunar cycle, could possibly change days in that time
Change
frame.
what?
So change dates, depending on the time frame, because it's based off of the lunar cycle. That's
Right.
the only feast date that can possibly change depending on that. So they don't know until they know what the lunar cycle is, basically. So it's considered to be the one feast, the Feast of Trumpets, which, again, trumpets are, very heavily played out in Revelations, that it is the one day or hour that no one knows, because it's based off of the cycle. So I just found that to be very interesting. To me, it's a sign or part of a season that we should watch for, but we don't know in which year. We don't know.
No, we're not making this claim at all.
The second
on this
it's
show.
going to happen. But this is the season that we need to keep an eye on. And I truly feel that throughout my very, very being, because literally the testimony that I'm going to be giving tonight was played out right in that time frame and ended on the 23rd. And to me, that's profound. God doesn't show you things that don't have purpose and multiple meanings. And I just, it's definitely a time frame to keep watch for. It's the season that we need to keep an eye on. And there is correlation to the day and the hour that no one knows. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and I'll expand on that a little bit too. We're looking at what looks like two different calendars, and they kind of are. This is the Gregorian calendar, of course, and I've got highlighted the 22nd, okay? The 22nd is also known as when the amount of day versus the amount of night, how many hours, how many minutes, is exactly the same. And that's on the 22nd. And there happens to be a new moon on that date as well. And it's the first day of what they call the Feast of Trumpets. So we have a new moon, meaning there you can't visually see the moon in general. It'll be up during the daytime. As a matter of fact, it's up during the daytime, and it happens to be right near the sun, which we're going to look at. And it also happens to be both of them in the constellation of Virgo. So now when we're looking at this is the same date. The 22nd, when you look at it on Gregorian, is the first on the lunar calendar, which is basically the Jewish calendar. The first. So what it is counting is it is the first day of the new cycle, of the new lunar cycle, okay? And they call it the 7th lunation, okay? And so I just wanted to show you so you would see that what we're dealing with here, that the Gregorian is the 22nd and the lunation calendar is the 1st. It's the same day, just two different calendar systems. And the day and the light are equal, and the sun will be, and the moon will be in Virgo, which we're going to look at. All right. So going back to where we were here. So this is let's see, what date did I leave this on? This is the 22nd of October. Okay, so on the 22nd of October, you can see that around the 22nd or maybe the 21st, I'll move it back one day, that the Earth and the Sun and the Comet are stacked up pretty good. They're pretty much in the same line. Okay, so that in other words, according to their system, they JPL, NASA. The Comet Atlas 3I is going to be directly behind the sun on the 21st of October. So just so you know, it's not coming in front of the sun. Like, well, put it this way. They are saying it's not coming in front of the sun. Now, if you go back and look at some propaganda from the past, like Little Shop of Horrors, talking about how on the 23rd of September in a decade not too far from now, that something's going to come down, and they kept saying comma, 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 hinting at comet. Something's going to happen on the 23rd of September in some year. And that wouldn't be no big deal if it wasn't for the fact that it was a green comet being depicted in the movie. And now we have a green comet that's, kind of showing up around these dates. And it's just a little curious. So there's... say what, Roxy?
The actor, Rick Moranis, that played in the Little Shop of Horror movie, he quit Hollywood after that movie.
Sorry, my headphones fell off. He quit Hollywood?
He quit Hollywood. He was done. He went home to raise his children. He didn't want anything else to do with Hollywood after that movie was made, just FYI.
He might have figured out what he was doing.
Well, I think he had a few contractual agreements he had to, finish up or whatever, because there was that and Ghostbusters and something else.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was done. That's why nobody ever sees him anymore. And if you want to look at actors, look at the ones that were popular and then just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't drink Kool-Aid.
Right. Or wouldn't sign up to do even worse evil things. Yeah, wouldn't drink Kool-Aid, basically. Wouldn't sell their soul, basically. All right, now we're looking at here, we're going from looking at it like this to adding in the constellations and the position of the comet. Now, strangely, apparently, there's another comet right up close to this one. It's called C/2025 K1. And that one is right close to Virgo as well. So this is Virgo. Let me move this down. This is what they call the constellation of Virgo. Okay. The woman that generally it's considered to be laying on her back. And we're going to look at that as well in Stellarium here in just a moment. And we all know that in Revelations that it talks about a woman clothed in the sun, the moon under her feet, 12 stars upon her head, and this dragon that comes along after she gives birth to go after the babe or the seed of the woman. We know this is, prophecy, and it's very, very highly symbolic. And we also know that they are the ones that created even these constellational concepts of that these stars are in some kind of alignment that makes this one called Virgo and have something to do with a woman. So, with that being said, though, here we have 3i Atlas is right there where my cross thing is at, okay? And we have that other comet right here, which I haven't really looked into yet. But it's coming and passing right up basically across through the hip area of what you would consider Virgo, I guess, okay? And then continuing on this way. One thing they're saying is that the tail of the comet is actually pointing towards the sun. As you can see, the sun is kind of depicted right up here, okay? The tail of this comet depicted here is pointing away from the sun. But according to them, that are, that claim to have the knowledge and information, they're saying this comet tail is pointing towards the sun. The opposite of what other comets do. And they're saying now also that it has apparently orbs flying with it. Very similar to the video in the intro to this show, showing the Comet Atlas that was here back, what was it, around May or something other. And we have the time-lapse footage of what looks like orbs flying with it. And I've stated many times, you know, that I believe orbs in certain cases are angels. I believe the stars are angels. They hold positions, a nodal point in the heavens, and they sing and hold creation into its place. But different kinds of angels have different kinds of jobs. And apparently, according to the Bible and history, there's some of the angels that fall. And it's my theory is that we go through this cycle of this thing happening over and over. It takes a very long time, like, I don't know, 43,000 years or something, to go through a complete cycle. But these cycles repeat. It's my theory, okay? And so when we're reading in the Bible about, in Revelations, about the stars falling from heaven, it's talking about angels falling from heaven, coming down, and having potentially other angels with them. And it plays out in the heavens. So with Atlas back in May, you could clearly see that there were other objects coming down with it, playing out in the heavens. And I find that kind of fascinating, to be honest. So we kind of have this story playing out again. This one isn't eye visible, and supposedly it may never become eye visible, and it could be completely made up. But if they made it up, there's a reason why they're doing it. And there's a lot of things going on, like they're acting like it might be an alien ship, you know, which is a complete made up fantasy, Disneyland, Hollywood kind of complete BS. There is no alien ship coming from some other grain of sand a gajillion miles away, in my opinion. Everybody else can have their opinions, but that's my opinion. And anyone here can speak their opinion as profoundly as even I do. All right, so we see that it's in Virgo, and we also see that the sun is there in Virgo as well. And let's see here. I don't know if this has got a date on it. It's got a time. The moon, this is on the 13th. So on the 23rd, you'd have this kind of setup as well. But the moon is going to be here with it. Let's see if I've got the image that I wanted. Actually, I think I can show it on Stellarium, which we'll get to here in just a second. And I just have some of these things in here as notes, reminding me of what I'm wanting to go over and stuff. Of course, the moon aligns roughly with the sun in Virgo during the feast. So the moon and sun coming together. Masculine energy, feminine energy coming together. Supposedly there's not going to be an eclipse, but they're going to be very close to each other. It would be interesting if there ended up being an eclipse. Little Shop of Horrors predicted an unexpected eclipse. It was on the newspaper in their little opening scene. Unexpected eclipse. So our sun in Virgo, the moon in Virgo, again, the day and night between the 22nd, 23rd, the day and night are roughly about equal. Okay. Just a clarification, the Feast of Trumpets always begins with the new moon, first day of Tishrah. Okay. So during September 22nd to the 24th, the moon is going to be a thin new moon. It'll be on the 22nd, supposedly complete new moon where you can't see it. And then going into the 23rd to 24th, you might be able to see a sliver, but the only problem is it's going to be in the daylight. So it's going to be very difficult to even see that moon because it's during the daylight of day and night. Now, if we look at, see what date we got here. Okay, this is the 9th. Okay. Excuse me, 9/22. Okay, so this is 9/22. And this is stellarium. Again, something that they built. But you can see that you have the sun and the moon are right here close to each other on the 22nd. And they're in, technically, it would be considered to be in the constellation of Virgo. And also Mercury is in the constellation as well, which may be significant somehow. I don't know. And then see, that is the 22nd. If we go forward one day, basically it's pretty much the same thing again. If we go back to 22nd, things shift just ever so slightly. If it'll do it. There we go. And let's see, there was something else I wanted to show you reference to this. Okay. On this date, about the 22nd, 23rd, that this whole period of the Feast of Trumpets, there is some other things that are going on at the same time. And there are some other propaganda type pieces of work out there. For instance, like I Pet Goat that we've been looking at for years. I've been trying to decode it since like 2013, and I have decoded probably 85%, like with confidence, 85% of it. There is still a couple of scenes that I don't completely understand yet. But what is going on is that on the let's say the 23rd, let's see if we can make this change here so we can see. How do I get this to go out of full mode? Escape, maybe? Maybe not. Okay, hang on. Okay, let's see. We got constellations, constellation art, atmosphere, landscape, grid, deep sky objects, night mode, full screen. Well, let me show you this other thing here. Let me find my little charts. Here we go. So on those dates, we have 6 planets that will be parading across the sky in the night sky. Now, I'm no someone that studies the sky and the heavens all the time, but it is part of what I study. And it's curious as to the constellations that we're going to be in, and also the planets that are parading and where they're at in the constellations. Okay. In the evening sky on the 23rd, okay, the sun will be setting in Virgo, and Scorpius and Sagittarius will still be visible low in the southwest. Okay. Aquila will be overhead to the right, but overhead, forming part of this, what's called the summer triangle. And also Capricornus and Aquarius are rising higher in the southeast. But because of the studies I've done, these particular things mean something. And let me show you here, so far as that's the constellations. This is the planets, okay? In the evening time, you will have, right after the sun sets, you'll be able to see Mercury, Saturn, and Neptune, okay? And the comet will supposedly be there, according to they. But so right after sunset, you've got Mercury, Saturn, and Neptune to be seen. After the sunset, let's go zoom in here. after the sunset, Mercury goes down, and in the morning time, before dawn, you'll be able to see Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, Venus. Some of them are eye visible, some you'd need like binoculars, okay? But Saturn will be bright, high up in the sky, and Neptune is going to be there, Uranus, Jupiter, and Venus. So when you take into account Mercury, that's 6. And of course, the comet is on its own little thing, but it's not a... I tend to want to use some of the words that they use, and I don't like using them. You know, like saying, it's not a planet. It's this, it's, you know, and these are words, they're steeped in lies and deception, so I hate using them. This is a layout of the pre-dawn sky, and kind of how things are going to be positioned, okay? So, as early in the morning on the 23rd, if you're looking east, okay, southeast, so you can know where your south is at, where the south is normally at. When you look face south and you start turning to the right, turning east, or should I say turning left, turning east, you would see Saturn, Neptune, Venus. Venus will be close down to the horizon. Mercury has already set, and that's shown in this diagram here, where Mercury is at. And this is in the evening sky after the sun sets. So we get to see Mercury, and then we get to see, before the sunrise rises, Saturn, Neptune, Venus, Uranus, Jupiter, and Comet Atlas, okay? And so that's 6, and the comet. Now, this scene comes to mind. Pretty much everybody here is familiar with iPic. Quite a few of you know that I've heavily decoded this down to the point where it's pretty much undeniable. Not every single little thing, not every scene even, but most of it. This one here, back when I originally looked at it, I could tell that this was like a scene of someone's doing time. Okay, they're in like an Auschwitz kind of prison. Okay, from what we've seen of the pictures that we've seen on the internet, because none of us ever been there probably. But Auschwitz, you know, with the barbed wire fences and all this, and you got the heat box, okay, and all this stuff is symbolism for something, that somehow barbed wire and electricity is keeping these people prisoner. They're doing time, or I say these people, they depict a goat sticking his head out of here. But if you look up here in the right-hand corner, you'll notice that there are 6 lights in the sky. And you could say, well, that's just the lights at the prison. Nothing's ever that simple. When every pixel on here was planned, it's never that simple. Those 6 lights represent something. Question is does it represent those? Does it represent Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter? It's hard to say, but it is very curious. This is the opening scene, of course, for iPic Goat, where the goat then comes, sticks his head out of the building. It shows us the iPic Goat thing. Let's see, let me hit play for a second. Not a little too far. Yeah, like that. Shows us the iPic Goat, which, if you want to get really conspiracy theory, like Logic Before Authority kind of thing, you start counting the blocks and figuring out what's being said here. And basically the blocks are encoded with the words 9/11, or the numbers 9/11. And then it shows you that it's 9/11 the second. That will be somehow depicted in this video. And then, of course, there are many other scenes in here, like the woman clothed in the sun with the moon under her feet. And I've decoded it all the way down to this is honey on the floor. And that September 23rd is International Honey Day. And decoded the buck rabbit, what he has to do with it, decoded the buck deer over here. And also even the flowers on the wall, the irises and the lilies that bloom in September. Certain types of lilies, like I have spider lilies, and they're literally been in hiding now for 6 months, and they're popping out of the ground right now outside my house. And of course, you got the 12 avatars that are around her. She sits in the sunlight. She's clothed in the sun with the moon under her feet. And you could say, well, I don't see a moon. It may be symbolically because of that she's sitting on her buttocks even. But it's pretty clear to see that's what's playing out here. And I'm going to skip going through every little detail here because I could go off the hook on explaining a lot of stuff. There's a scene right here where there is like a, let me see if I can back that up a few seconds. Let me let that play. Okay. A lot of people have said that these are guns, particularly like folding guns. Those images of the snow or the icebergs, they had to put them in some kind of an image. And that maybe this is some type of folding gun. Interestingly enough, it's being talked about the Kirk thing that just went on recently, that there was a folding gun, what's called an iPhone gun, that was possibly involved. But what happens here is depicted here in this scene is that there's a moment, and I'm not positive and I can't swear that these are depictions of guns, but I'm just talking. We're just talking, sitting around the coffee table, right? So there's a moment when something happens and the Statue of Liberty's flame is extinguished and falls off. So there's like a moment when something happens when it's depicting basically the fall of the United States, which they're intending on doing if you don't realize it. They have to bring the United States as you know it down in order to get their one world order with the Antichrist running it. Okay. And I've talked about before too that we've got this character here, and he has a tail, and he's green up front, and he's only seen on television or on the internet. He's only seen on a screen. Maybe you never even see him, but he has a tail, and he's depicted as green, and his name is Draco. That's what Heliofant named him. And he is coming after the seed of the woman. He's looking at the egg. He's looking at everything to do with symbolism of the seed. And then there's more to his story, but it hit me one time that this may be symbolism for a comet. That might be far stretching, but what are we looking at?
What if that's just symbolism for television screens and smartphones?
Yeah, it could be, because it looks like it's got a little knob on it.
He's on
like
a screen, right? Like he's in an old school TV.
Right.
That would be, and he seems to be connected to something, and that gives me the Sentinel from the Matrix kind of thought.
Well, he's got a tail that's a serpent tail.
It looks like an Apple Watch.
You see, he's got that tail that's a serpent tail.
It looks like an Apple Watch.
Looks like an Apple Watch, yeah, exactly. And
oh, okay.
What? No, it does. It looks kind of like an Apple Watch or something like that. And then we have the rumors about the Apple foldable bang bang shoot 'em up that had something maybe going on with the Kirk situation. I don't know. I haven't dove in so far into it that I can't say really what happened there, other than I can guarantee you it was
all
controlled.
of that ice in there in that movie, now that I think about all the ice in it, that just points me to, well, you know where all my research leads there.
Antarctica. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Every bit of it takes you right back there.
The question is it may be ice, because it certainly looks like everything is frozen, but it may also be ash, possibly. I don't know. It's never hit me clearly, absolutely clearly, what it is. What did you say, Miss Kim?
Watching the other night showed like ice or ash or something falling from the sky. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. What was the name of that? So yeah, there's that. There's unanswered things about what is this ash looking stuff falling. We don't know for sure. But I'm just jumping through and showing a few things. You see how like he's staring into the a little bit too far. He's staring into the head. It's an egg head. And what it means, it's talking about the egg. It's talking about the seed. The dragon is after the seed, just like Revelations, I think it's 9. Is that what it is? That talks about the woman clothed in the sun, and the dragon comes. And a lot of this scenery that we see is like it's kind of going on in this like outer space kind of thing. Not all of it looks like that, but a lot of it is. Like this scenes of this dancing stuff that goes on, like here. This is definitely symbolism of the heavens, like the stars. And they show these things as having stars on their chests, and they all represent something. And if you go here, look at this. Right, let's see, where's it at? Right before this. This is where they show Draco the dragon, he spews. Talks about, in Revelations, it talks about the dragon spews water after the woman, but the earth opens its mouth and helps her. Now see, you got the egghead here with the serpent, has his tail in it, and he's got yellow on his shirt because his yoke's broke. Suppose that's what they're symbolizing. And he spews.
Oh, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. It's talking about your brain.
Yeah, it's talking about your brain. It's talking about the seed that's being destroyed. And so,
indoctrination.
As you see, he draws back and he spews. Draws back. Here he goes.
So I know you're on a serious note here, but I just have to introduce our little guest, Toby. He had to be right here, so in case you're wondering where this little dog came from, just
okay, no problem. Let me I'll turn your mic up a little bit. I forgot to do it earlier. Sometimes you're coming through too low. All right.
Little
Toby.
Everybody.
Well, let's show Toby. You done brought him up, so we're going to show Toby now. There's Toby.
Yep.
Hey, Toby. Toby, can you hear me?
Want to say hi? He's my little grumpy old man. But he's been really clingy, so sorry I had to bring him up here.
No problem. We ain't so serious we can't take a break for a moment. But we had the dragon that spews, just like in Revelations. In this case, it's showing there's fire being blown into the mouth. As you can see, that's symbolism depicting the opening of a mouth. There's also a symbolism depicting the center of an apple, the core of an apple, which you can see easily if I back it up just a little bit. That is also an apple. Talking about the seed. Okay. But what does all this have to do, Daniel, with what's coming? Because you can see over and over in here that it depicts they're destroying the seed. This is a scene where all these things that look like soldiers are standing up, but they're seamen. That's what this is. That's why it looks the way it looks. Is its semen being destroyed? Again, the seed. Okay. And then there comes a point where where it kind of really probably has a lot to do with what we're talking about. And we've talked about it before. But you have these 4 characters that are dancing around in something that is obviously meant to be the Matrix, showing you the heavens, basically. And they do these dances, spinning around, doing all these things. And I have related that there's one that's in this that is likely depicting what's called the blue kachina. It's the blue-faced one that you get to see a couple of times during the whole video production, like right here. Blue kachina, or also at the same time, and I know this is repeating for a couple of you, but you got to repeat certain things sometimes. This is also the depiction of the deity that is dancing in an orb of fire or orb of light, plasma, at CERN, outside that big statue, the big circle statue. So I think, in my opinion, I can't swear to this, but I think the Hopi blue kachina and the CERN depiction, that statue, and this are all the same character. And they're stars, which we can see by looking at the chest. Of course, it has a star on the chest. And this star starts changing its masks, starts changing what it looks like, and changing its colors even. And if we look forward, we see that first off, it shows up as green. And Comet Atlas just happens to be all of a sudden now green. They're saying it's green. It's putting off green light, green color because of its... Go ahead.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody else in IPEC Goat that has a
Can you
star
come a
on
little
it?
closer on your mic, or I can turn you up if you need me to?
Is there anybody else on IPEC Goat that has a star on their chest?
Yeah.
This is a research question for me because I stumbled across something yesterday about a star on the chest.
This scene...
Remember the song I shared in the group?
Yeah.
The new link, it says he'll show up with a star on his chest.
Oh, really?
Dressed in his Sunday best with his well-worn shoes.
With his well-worn shoes. Huh. That is interesting. Star on his chest.
Well, see, the star on the chest is what struck me.
Mm-hmm.
In it says he will show up with a star on his chest.
This is all for the
dressed in his
Ingersoll
Sunday
Lockwood website,
best.
right?
Yeah, it's the new one of the links down at the bottom.
Is that
It's a
new song?
Yeah, it's a new song. It talks about the trumpet.
So after Kurt was whatever happened there, then they put this song out. Is that right?
Yeah, it
Do you have the
come out
lyrics?
shortly. It doesn't give you any lyrics.
But you basically know them, so repeat them again.
It tells you that it's talking about the Orange Man. 'Cause I got to be careful what I say.
Right.
You know, that he's going to risk it all, and that he will show up with a star on his chest in his Sunday best in his well-worn shoes. Now, whether that means he's wearing them properly or they're worn out, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
Right.
It's just something that popped up. Usually when things coincide, and anyway, star on his chest.
We
It
should be
confused
checking
me
out what
yesterday.
he's wearing and checking out his shoes when he shows up at the UN for sure on the 23rd, or any other time period around here in the near future, because it's
I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna go listen to it right quick.
okay. It's been a ongoing kind of a thing, you know, because the T has been popped at twice, right? According to they.
Song has changed. It's not there anymore.
Really? Gone.
Now it's a song about Charlie.
Yeah.
The links on there, when I started looking at these links, I get more interested in. I'm not worried about what they're saying. A lot of it is links to declassified documents.
Mm-hmm.
Is where my rabbit hole begins. But I now check it on the daily. I have now set a timer to check it 3 times a day. That's how fast the links are changing.
Mm-hmm.
I was checking it once a month, once a week, once a day. Now we've noticed, me and the others that follow that page, 3 times a day, they're changing links and posting stuff.
And it's being done coinciding with events that are taking place.
With events.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, if you actually catch the post before the event, you'll realize that the post was showing you the event.
The event, yeah. Yep. Do you see anything on that website other than what you just read about a star being on chest and this kind of stuff? But do you see anything on the website that potentially points towards September and that Feast of Trumpets range of the 22nd, 23rd, 24th?
No, the biggest things lately have been, because I also look at the URL when I'm decoding this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Got to.
Well, and right now the most current links is the George Bush unauthorized biography, how Bush's grandfather helped the man with the little mustache come to power back in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
That lady Nancy, she's up there in that house and she drinks a lot. You know, she's kind of old and everybody says she's a little, you know, last name rhymes with Pelosi.
Yeah.
It talks about, it talks about how her dad was related to FBI stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is one on the governor of California and how he keeps it all in the family, has been for years. Hillary and her husband and the body count around them. And then there's a couple of YouTube videos. And then there's one showing you how eugenics had been implemented in America. And then it leads you directly to a YouTube video of Mr. Gates talking about how eugenics need to be implemented.
Mm-hmm. And then he's now sitting beside Mr. T recently.
Yeah, I've been researching that conference with Mr. T, and I've watched some of the people that are associated, you know, like us truthers that go in and dig.
Mm-hmm.
And as usual, there's more going on there than I think we see.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of it in the past 72 hours has been exposing the actual reach, depth, and control of Facebook and Google and what they were originally set up for and how they were funded. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But there's some big names out there like exposing it, and it goes all the way back into Teal and the VP and when they first come about and where funding come from, and then that dude that had an island and, you know, himself, so they claim. It connects all of that money to all of that.
The rising of the phoenix. You got to burn it down before you build it back. Just like Biden was saying, we're going to build back better after we burn it down.
That's what I said. The whole world feels like a bunch of Molotov cocktails being slung at us at the moment.
Right, pretty much. But it's just getting rolling good, and I'm hoping it'll stay out of second gear.
I have been so deep.
The 23rd.
I keep a legal pad for like each avenue of investigation I go down, so I can try to keep all my notes together. Today it has been a 4 notepad kind of day.
Right.
My brain hurts.
Right. All right. So yeah, keep an eye out. You know, all the things that we talk about on here. Keep an eye and see if you see anything popping in there that's obviously related, which you obviously already are, but especially
I'm back on the site because
in the next week here. Keep an eye on the next week and see if, you know, going into the 22nd, 23rd, see if you see anything popping up or something that might symbolically make some sense. All right, let's see. If we go to the end scene here, because we've got all these things dancing, of course. They're obviously depicting stars up in the sky, and they're making their movements, changing their mask. We decoded a potential decode of this one being what's called a doctor's death mask, showing up somehow. Maybe what they might do is say, oh, we're passing through the path of the comet, and it's causing, we're getting this alien plague that's, scaring everybody. Ain't no telling how this might come into play. But when we get to the end scene down here, see here, like right here, you remember which constellations it was, either Shannon or Roxy, that are going to be in the sky when the sun's coming up in the morning time, or right before the sun comes up in the morning time. Which ones are there, which means they would still be there even after the sun rose, this is showing it a little bit after the sun rose, but right before this, before the sun rose right here, imagine it in your mind. Of course, we have Scorpio. You can see the tail of Scorpio right here. Scorpius. You can see depicted symbolically a claw right here as well, and the body of the scorpion back here. And you can also see another one that will be positioned to the upper right of Scorpio will be Aquila. In the upper right, you can see that this looks like an eagle or a bird, Aquila, right up here. And then below that will be basically Cupid, or which one is that? Is that called Sagittarius? Which one's the one that has the bow and arrow and is pointing kind of at the Scorpion? Anybody?
I'm sorry. I was down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry. I was in chat.
No problem. You handling it. I appreciate that. I was saying, let me just look it up. I got all this ability right here at my fingertips, and for some reason I'm getting my constellations mixed up.
Sorry, I don't know what constellation either, and I'm just tripping out on my dog right now because he is really freaking out. And I know that dogs can sense earthquakes, so I'm a little...
Sagittarius. Okay, so let's look back at our list.
That would be from our intelligent viewers, because I could not come up with that one off the top of my head for some reason.
Okay, so let's go back to our list of Sagittarius. Okay, so there we go. Exactly right. Scorpius or Scorpio, Sagittarius, which is like the Cupid thing, will be there. Matter of fact, it's depicting it right there. This is, I can't swear it'll be the year, but this is that morning. This is the morning. And what it depicts happening is you see the little comet looking, or this little fireball right up here coming in, and it strikes the pyramid, which is symbolism for the controllers of the world, or the control centers of the world. Like, in my opinion, that would be, unfortunately, Babylon, Mystery Babylon. And unfortunately, unless something shows me something different, or somebody convince me differently, the United States, particularly New York and several other places, that are the control centers for money, media, and so on. But so now we have a comet that is coming just like is depicted here, okay, with Aquila, the sun rising, and we've got Aquila, we've got Sagittarius, and we've got Scorpio, all three depicted right here. And I've always looked at this one thing right here. See this object right here, this long object coming down? It looks like, what does that look like to y'all guys? Can you see that? Or have I lost you back in the comments?
What
This thing right here
What object?
Looks like a spear
looks
to me.
like a spear kind of right here. See how it's coming down right here?
All right.
You see that? And it has like a loophole in it right here.
Yeah.
What is that? Anybody in the comments? Is
Dragon's tail?
is there something out there like that? I mean, maybe it's like something to do with the dragon or something else, but is there an arrow or a spear that looks anything like this? Anything? Is this ringing a bell?
I'm watching comments. We got
Or
dragon.
Could it?
It's a dragon's tail, a needle.
Almost looks like something that you would use to crochet with.
Oh, a needle.
Yeah. The eye of the needle.
Because they didn't put this here for nothing. It's not just to score Scorpio, which happens to have a needle on his tail, and Sagittarius, which happens to have a needle on his bow, you know. So you got...
It would be more like a sewing machine needle, though, because where the eye of the needle is.
Right.
If it was a needle.
Let's move this forward some and just see.
Or could it be like Leviathan?
Yeah, I'm not.
Which is mentioned in the Bible.
Everybody in the comments is saying dragon's tail.
Dragon's tail. And see, we've got these.
I mean, the light on it where it is, it looks like it could be an eye. So to me, it reminds me of like Leviathan. Oh, but see, then that trails. Okay.
Yeah, that fireball or missile or something falling from the heaven comes down. It doesn't thread that needle, does it? Let's go back. I don't think so. I think it shows it kind of passing in front of it.
No, it goes through. Oh, in front?
Yeah, it passes kind of.
Okay,
From the perspective of the way we would normally look at things, it passes in front. But then there's one here that'll come in a second that comes down and hits. Or here comes another one off the sun to the upper right. And you think, what are you doing, Daniel? Why are you if you want to figure something out, you literally, I've spent over a decade staring at this video. I've probably watched it 1,000 times. And that's how I was able to decode a lot of it. But it takes a lot of time.
Well, I don't know if anybody out there has used the AI models to create anything along this nature. But just the simple little thumbnails that we have for the shows, just to get that image to look anything like what we want it, you got to have a couple of paragraphs. Because if you don't tell it exactly what you want everything to look like, it's not there. So everything in this image, if it was created with any kind of computer generated software, every single detail that's in there would have had to been put in there purposefully, or it would have been blank. Right. There's no it's in there because it was background. That doesn't work with AI generation like that.
And I think Shannon was the first one long time ago to say that she said, that looks like it was done with AI. Was that you, Shannon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I agree.
I truly believe this whole thing is AI created.
There's way too much going on.
100%.
So
it is 100% AI.
This whole depiction.
And think about how long ago this came out, right?
2013.
And what they've been showing us, what AI is capable of in the public eye, but I mean, truly, it's been, we're 40 years behind, okay? What's shown in the, on the mainstream.
75 at this point, probably.
Yeah, right?
Ooh. You got to realize, Shannon, we ain't young no more, so to us, like 20 years ago feels like yesterday.
Now, when you look at this overall image, it's showing you this something in a boat, and I would say what's in that boat, this is a comet, okay? It's more like, see the water you're looking at the heavens. And all the little other symbols are all constellations, and you got the sun with these other things flying around. You're not looking at water out in a frozen landscape. You're looking at like the heavens, and then you got the three pyramids. Almost remind me of Orion's belt because of how they built the pyramids that are tied to Orion's belt. And Orion is actually going to be seen in the heavens, but it's way in the west, while all the other action is going on in the east. But it is seen. Don't know exactly what that means, but I'm pretty positive, because a comet is considered to be if you really go digging, and I've done it, comet is considered to be, the Egyptians believed that it was a boat carrying a deity. Okay. And I suspect that it is, you could call it a boat, but if you look at a comet as it's coming, like, remember how I told you how when angels streak, they leave a line behind them of like sparks? That's what a comet reminds me of when I've seen it with my own eyes, the naked eye comet, like last May or whatever it was, when we seen that first one called Atlas. It leaves that streak behind it. And then we see comets that have got the streak, but it's like it's somehow in slow motion compared to when I see an angel close up that streaks, like the one in the intro of the Supernatural show, the one that comes down above the Dome of the Rock and that sits there for a second and then streaks, flashes, and then streaks straight up. And as it streaks, it leaves a light trail behind. That means something. It's all connected, you know? And we're just trying to piece the puzzle together the best we can. It isn't, I know sometimes I talk like I think I know something, but I'm just like y'all guys. I just want to try to figure it out.
Is there an iPet Goat 3?
There is, but I'm not sure. What do you think, Shannon? iPad Go 3. I don't even know what to say about it. It's totally done in a different format.
Sorry. Yeah, the one that's all, because I've seen the three things that have been put out on that channel, the Heliofont channel, and that's the iPad Go 2, and then the other one with Trump and Putin. Oh, sorry, those guys, the U.S. and Russian guy doing some kind of weird
karate dance or judo or whatever. That wasn't on the Heliofont channel, was it?
Super bizarre. Oh, it was? I thought so. I thought it was.
No.
I'm pretty sure, because a lot of people, anyways, I thought I'd watch it on that either way, and then I saw the other one, possibly, but I did see the other one too, where it was like live action, and it was just filming these buildings and surroundings where the actual headquarters is, where they made the film. Is that the one you're referring to specifically?
No, that's not iPad Go 3. That was on Heliofont, the Heliofont channel on YouTube.
Right.
They were walking down this, like at a kind of a boat harbor, the docks and everything. He walks down and goes up and shows you the headquarters of the Heliofont. That's not iPad Go 3. That's a totally different thing. That was on the Heliofont channel.
iPad Go.
Yeah,
what exactly is
that? Was like
Putin
and Trump doing karate chop movements, and an alien ship come in and landed.
Exactly, yeah.
And if it's from the same group of people, then it would be a legitimate iPad Go 3. But I don't know why, but this one has been way more intriguing for me. Maybe I should look at that one again, because I haven't looked at it in a while. I'll try to do that. I'll look at iPad Go 3 again and see if it makes any sense at all at this point in the game, but we'll see. But right now, I know we're looking at in this depiction a September at some point, and something is struck by something and causes everything to go kaplowy. Because the whole scene is set here. You got Sagittarius, Scorpio, Aquila, And what is all in the heavens right now? Exactly those stars. And yeah, so
Okay. Just FYI,
mhm.
it just popped up. You know me, I'm on a side quest now. iPet Goat 3
Uh-huh.
was made by Seymour Studios.
Uh-huh.
Little Shop of Horrors. Feed me, Seymour.
No way.
I'm not kidding. It was put out by Seymour Studios.
No
And the critter,
way.
or either the guy in the shop or the guy in the plant, Rick Moranis plays, is Seymour. Because remember the critter says, "Feed me, Seymour."
Wow. That is a massive catch. Wow. Seymour Studios. That's about blowing my mind now. I'll be down that rabbit hole here in a few minutes. Guess I could do it now, but oh Lord.
Can't help but have these side thoughts.
Hey, it works out. Normally when you find some things.
And Seymour Studios only has 5,000 followers, but theirs all the way up to iPet Goat 6.
All the way to 6?
All the way to 6 on Seymour
what?
Studio. Yeah.
On Seymour Studios.
There's all kind of stuff on here.
I wonder
like
if
I
we
said,
could
we'll have
watch
to
them,
investigate.
or if we'll
I
get in
don't know.
trouble.
But the Seymour Studio, when I looked up iPet Goat 3, it says by Seymour Studios. And then the immediate thought in my mind was, feed me, Seymour. It's SEY.
Yep, I think
MOUR. No, MOUR.
And it's got
Yeah, you got it. The green badge there.
Yep, green badge. Let's see, can I get that to let me open the image? No. Okay, so what do I see here? Green for one, just like the Little Shop of Horrors, the green and all that, and the green Comet.
The WhatsApp number up there appears to be European.
Here is our image that is on his banner.
Look at that sword. Looks a whole lot like what we were just watching a comet fly through on 2, right?
Well, it is similar, that's for sure. Seymour Studio. And Seymour is the name of the killer plant that comes to eat you. And when they were the movie that calls out September 23rd, a comet coming down to get you. It's like, and they like messing with us. But most people would never even notice this. So here you got, see this image right here? It looks like the sun is down here at the bottom, rising above the horizon right here. See that?
Yep.
And then there's this something other streaking through the sky, kind of serpent-like, or streaking through the sky, and it's a star. Or is it an angel? Is it a deity? Is it a, thinking out loud. And I'm not sure what's going on with this dude's outfit. He's got, I'm not sure what to think about him yet. Huh.
See, now I'm going to spend the rest of my day down Seymour Studios page.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Gonna need a whole new notepad for this one.
Oh, boy. If y'all guys didn't catch earlier, Roxy and I, and y'all guys can do it also, is go into the round table of knowledge room that's on the website, TheSupernatural.Show, and then find the round table of knowledge. And you can go in there with others and try to seek the answers to a lot of this stuff.
I think we should watch this Beyond the Veil with our viewers.
Huh? Say what?
I think if we're going to watch these other versions of iPet Goat, we should do it Beyond the Veil with our viewers.
Yeah, then we wouldn't have to worry about getting a copyright. Yeah, we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that, if not sooner, maybe we'll do that this Friday, is watch these other versions. Like this is iPet Goat 6, The End of Zionism. And let's see what else we got. We got Green Man, which is kind of the image that was up here with Seymour Studios, Green Man. And we got, this looks like a little fairy flying around, like something from Disney. And the sparks that fly off of the Disney fairy. Hey, pass me some of them snacks.
Oh, sorry, guys. I'm eating Cheetos. I'm starving.
It's okay. Let's see. So here's our Pet Goat 5. I had no idea that there was more of them out. I knew there was number 3. And there's been a few people that's tried to create them, you know, and you can tell it's just somebody trying to get some traction. But that's 5. Then there's all these other videos in the middle. Yeah, another could be interesting video that ain't no telling. Let's see. We got teaching how to create videos, and all this kind of thing. The Seymour movie. Here's Bay Rocktar, TB3 Seymour movie. Okay. So yeah, we'll go back and find all these. There's 3. Pet Goat 3. Looks like the Green Man is fighting with Christ. What? The Green Comet's fighting with Christ.
The YouTube handle identifier is at greenman19.24.
Say that again.
The user's handle for the channel.
Oh,
Seymour Studios.
19.20. You're talking about up here.
Yeah, his handle, like mine, is Roxy.
Yeah.
His is greenman19.24.
Any thoughts on what that might mean? I find it interesting. But it means something.
I'm down this.
19.
I'm digging this rabbit hole as we go. I apologize for anybody I left in the comments hanging, but a squirrel has run by and I have become distracted.
Well, that's what you do. That's what we do. All right. All right. Let's see. We're going to come back to the other I Pet Goat videos. Maybe we will do that on Friday. We'll go live like normal, but then we'll transition, go and watch all these together, and probably won't get them all done in one session, but we can work on it and see what we see, because I haven't watched I Pet Goat 3 in quite a while. And you'll want to make sure that your login and password is working for the website. So that way you'll be able to get to where we're at. Okay. Let's see what else I got up here.
I'm trying to find the meaning of the name Seymour at the moment.
Seymour,
just checking. Yeah. Which so far it's just coming from the meaning of Saint Maur or Moore. I don't know how you pronounce that specifically. And then also deriving from Old English words for sea, like the sea.
And Seymour.
Or Lord of the Marsh. Here we go. Lord of the Marsh.
Yeah, look into each syllable, and even sometimes you have to even go into the letters. But Seymour. And it's spelled S-E-Y? Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah. S-E-Y-M. Yeah. So far, yeah. The main meaning that I'm seeing is Lord of the Marsh or Lord of the Swamp.
Seymour. Well, that plant they created for that movie was like a type of
Swamp monster.
Swamp monster. Yeah, there you go. Pretty much.